I see us. Yay. All right. One last thing. Double check this. All right. Hey, everyone. Michele Bellisari, Real Estate Reinvention. I am with the fabulous Marki Lemons-Ryhal, and we're going to be talking about content creation, consistency, and AI today, baby. And Marki, welcome, welcome, welcome. You have
Thank you.
so many acronyms after your name. I'm just going to let you tell
Ah,
everybody a little about who you are like they don't know. But thank you for coming on today. My audience is just going to love everything that you say and do. And it's been a long time. And we met quite some time ago. So I'm so thrilled that you had the time today because your schedule is insanely busy. And if anybody ever has an opportunity to see Marki in person, you have got to go.
thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, thank you for having me today. I'm your girl, everybody, Marki Lemons-Ryhal, real estate keynote speaker, six-time international best-selling author, and I am the podcast host of Drive with NAR, the podcast of the National Association of Realtors. In addition, they brought me in to be their podcast host because I was already a successful podcaster of Social Selling Made Simple podcast. And over the past 25 years, I came into real estate July the 31st, 1999. I have accumulated 64 real estate related licenses, designations, and certifications. The mass majority of my real estate licenses are in education. So, licensed to teach continuing education in 48 states.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. I want to say, I think the last time I saw you at a live event was before COVID. I saw you in person at Florida Association of Realtors a couple years ago. But I saw you present for the first time at Inman Connect Las Vegas in 2019. Barb Betts was there, Chelsea Pites was there. We had such a wonderful time.
We
And
did.
I was like, holy cow, she is amazing.
Well, thank you. Yesterday, actually, I flew home last night. We were having tornadoes here in the Chicagoland area. So I was in Vegas yesterday with Next Home at their convention. It's convention season right now in Vegas.
Yeah.
So Next Home, leading real estate companies of the world, and Keller Williams were all in Vegas, are still there this week. And so it was a awesome time. And you know what? I thought about because I'm doing this Women Who AI Summit, and a statistic was shared that women are 80 times more likely to die in poverty. And when I
Uh-huh.
start thinking about artificial intelligence, 60% of the people using it are men, but our real estate industry is 60% female. And I have zero intentions on dying in poverty, right?
Right.
Also, the average age of a realtor toggles anywhere between 53 and 56.
Yep.
But the 24 to 35-year-old is the biggest age group that's using AI. And so when
Yeah.
I start internalizing those numbers, because it's two women talking today,
Yeah.
um, women, we have to do something.
Yeah.
We have to leverage AI in order to be more productive, to generate more leads, and to earn more money.
Yeah.
If not, get this, 15% of the people using AI are American. So that means that other countries are going to be more productive, men are going to be more productive, and younger people are going to be more productive. Do not allow that to happen to yourself. And you get to make a choice, because within the first 12 months, actually the first 6 months of me leveraging AI consistently in my business, I saw a 261% increase in my productivity and a 283% increase in my income. So I'll say this, imagine taking your business from a six-figure business to a seven-figure business because you leverage a tool that's $20 per month. Or better yet, my AI tech stack cost me $149 a month.
Okay. There you go.
So it's yeah, and I don't mind preaching. I,
Well,
I
no,
yeah,
one of the reasons I have you on today is I know
it's the
you are
preach.
a straight speaker and you preach. because it needs to be heard. And you're absolutely right. And I'm a woman of a certain age. I'm 61, I'll be 62. um, AI's been a game changer. I mean, that's the best way I can put it for me. And you're right with those numbers about the average age of a realtor. And I don't know if it's because women of a certain age have so many responsibilities. They're caregiving, sandwich generation, adult children moving home, grandparents. There's so many things that certain chapter of our lives that many women are taking care of. Maybe that's part of the reason. But the poverty thing, that really makes me sad.
Yeah, because we're busy minding everyone else's business. So one
Yeah.
thing I would like to tell, because I'll be 54 on my birthday, it's okay to say no. I still have a child at home. He's 17 years old. I tell him no. My adult child, no. My husband, no. Actually, my adult child is also a realtor. He called over here today. We're going to take some headshot photos. And he said, well, do you want to go on a showing appointment with me after we do your photos? Absolutely not. No, thank you. I'm not going to do your job
I
and do
love
my
you.
job. No, I there's no way I want to go with you, right? And
Yeah.
I tell them no consistently because here's what I've realized. When the oldest one wants to go out with his friends or take a trip, right? I get kicked to the curb. When the youngest one has a sports activity or dance at school, I get kicked to the curb. When my husband wants to go golfing or when he was playing fantasy football, I got kicked to the curb. So I was only a priority when their time was free.
You are so right,
Right?
by the
When
way.
when
Yeah.
when they have nothing to do, then you
Yeah.
become a priority.
Want to go to
So
lunch so I
I've
can pick up the
mastered, you
bill?
want to do that? No, no. And so as a result of me realizing that,
Yeah.
really, I came into marriage knowing that. Like, nope, not doing that, not
Yeah.
doing that. And if you complain about how I do anything, I don't do it anymore. So if I'm taking time out of my busy schedule to accommodate you, the only thing you need to say is thank you, or you need to do it yourself. And at the moment you complain about it, I don't do it anymore. I
Nope.
no longer cook. I don't empty garbage because I'm in a house of men. Only thing that I still do is my husband's laundry. And I stopped doing it when he complained about it and he begged me to do it again. And I reminded him if he ever complains, I won't be doing that either. And so my rules are real simple. I'm real free. I get to really focus on my business, right? Because
Yeah.
I've noticed how men and your children treat us, and they have full fledged lives. They do what they want to do all the time. And when they're free, then all of a sudden we became a priority. But as real estate professionals, if we're on our phone, you can't put your phone down. You didn't put your phone down when you was in whatever league for 7 days, right? You didn't even look. I didn't even get a text back until at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Just want to throw that out there. It should not be on our backs. And if we're 80 times more likely to live to die in poverty, clearly they not taking care of us.
And we're living longer than them.
Broke. I mean,
I know.
we want to be broke
I
and
know.
old. Yeah, right.
Exactly.
So they
So,
not taking care of us. Let me.
so
They're not
you're
taking care of us.
you're so right. So, here's a couple thoughts too. And Barb Betts and I talked about this, and then we're going to segue into productivity and consistency and AI. But here's the thing: when you teach your kids how to do their laundry, and you teach your husband how to do his laundry, and I actually don't cook that much either because I like working on my business and doing stuff for my business. So I like to order in, or he likes to cook, things like that. You start giving responsibilities back to the people in your world and say, listen, you're old enough to understand this. Hey, you're not leaving the house until the house is clean. My kids call themselves Cinderellas, and their friends did. They said, your mom would never let you leave the house on Saturdays until you clean the house. Well, I'm not your damn maid.
Isn't that the truth? Right?
Yeah.
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I 100% I understand, but that's what we have to do.
Yeah.
And we have to stand our ground. We have to say no because we have to allocate the time to put on our schedule in order to generate leads.
Yeah.
And if
So
we
let's
don't do
talk
that,
about that. Let's
yeah,
talk about that and how the lack of consistency costs you money. The lack of imagination and how you can leverage AI, because it's a belief that I'm not smart enough to use it, I'm not techy enough to use it, and yet you can for sure, and how you can up your productivity and maintain a lifestyle that you love.
Yes, let's talk about it.
So,
Well,
what's your first thought on that?
my whole thought on it is, so I've been in real estate 25 years. I've always been a lead generator. My very first year, I was a loan originator. So let's go back to July the 31st, 1999. I earned $97,738, right? I have always consistently added at least 8 leads per day to my customer relationship management system.
Okay.
Because of tools like Grammarly, because of ChatGPT, because of QuickBooks, because of my bookkeeper, I can now tell you exactly how many leads I need to add, but how much content do I need to put out in order to add the leads? Okay.
Okay.
So,
There
what's
you
going to
go.
be my lead generation effort? So every single day, we need to put out content that solves people's problems. Okay. Whether that's buying or selling real estate, where's the dry cleaners in our community, what's the best Mexican restaurant for Taco Tuesday, who has the best dumplings, right? Well, there is a tool called National Today. Every single morning, I believe that lead generation should be the very first thing that we do because it frees up the rest of your day. I believe that every single real estate professional, we all have 1,440 minutes. We need to allocate 60 minutes to lead generation. I've never cold called. I don't have to cold call. And let me tell you why I don't have to I don't have to cold
Yeah.
call, right? So a lot of times when we start thinking about lead generation, someone asked me today, well, what do you constitute a lead? It's not what I constitute a lead. I know what a lead is by definition, right? It's not my constitution of it. Okay. Um, Yesterday when I was on stage, on February the 24th, I added 128 leads. On February the 25th, I added 137 leads. On February the 26th, I added 287 leads. Yesterday, by 9:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, I added 152 leads to my customer relationship management system. A lead to me is a first name, a last name, and an email address. They opted in to get something of value from me.
Right.
Before we were leveraging technology, not before technology, I had bus benches, billboards, and was running a classified ad in the back of the Sun Times. I was also doing direct mails, and I used the platform for about a year called House Values. I don't do any of that today. I'm consistently leveraging social media. So we wake up tomorrow morning. We know we have an hour. We need to put out content that is going to resonate with people in our sphere of influence. I want you to think hyper local. Real estate is a local business. Today, let me just go back. Today, we had National Chocolate Fondue Day. We had National Hot Chocolate Day, I think it was. So
Hmm.
I created content. What kind of content am I creating? 1,000-word blog post. Now, here's what's kind of interesting about this. People will say, oh, 1,000 words seem like a lot. No, the top ranking blog posts are substantially more than 1,000 words. What people also, so for every 6 figures a person wants to earn, they need to put out 30,000 words of content every single month or 66 words per day.
Okay.
That's easy. I'm coming over to ChatGPT. I'm leveraging it to help me create the content. From the content, I'm creating text to image. A picture's worth 1,000 words. 1 minute of video content is equivalent to 1.8 million words. I can do all of that in under 10 minutes, leveraging Chat GPT, Mid Journey, and Studio DID. So I can create the words. And for those of us who live in marketplaces where Spanish will become the number one language in the next decade, and when I say that, I have so many people who still don't take heed to that. Spanish will become the number one spoken language in numerous metropolitan areas across the country, and no one thinks they should start putting out content now for what will become the number one language in the next decade because we're not thinking with the end in mind.
Hmm.
So, essentially, I gave you an hour, but in 10 minutes, once you get your repetition right together, you can go research what's going on today. You can create 1,000 words of English content, translate it to Spanish, create a photo, take the photo, automate it to become a video. That now means that I have one, two, three, 4,000 plus 1.8 million. I have superseded the amount of content that I need to build a successful six figure business. But it wasn't just about building a six figure business, it's about building a multiple six figure business. So, because of ChatGPT, essentially, we went from that $400,000 company to a seven figure company because we increased our productivity by 261% and our income by 283% doing boring things consistently. And I'm going to tell you this. Let me give my son Skylar some credit for that. He says, "Mom, real estate is all about doing boring things consistently." Yep, sounds about right. And as a result, you can live a fabulous life.
I love it. And kudos to you for one, listening to, like I say, the millennials, because mine are millennials. And I'm like, I take a lot from them. And then I figure out how to use it in my world, right? They're really smart with that stuff.
They
That's
are.
how I ended up on Snapchat. That's how you ended up. Our kids were doing it. And we're like, huh, how can we use that in real estate, right?
Yes.
So I love, now, here's the thing. And anyone who's watching this live, and if you're watching the recording, y'all need to go back and write those numbers down that Marky just said. That's remarkable, right?
Yeah.
Those numbers are huge because if you want to do six figures, and look, it's doable. It's doable, multiple times doable, right? Then you need to listen to experts like Marky. She knows this stuff. She gets it. And literally that national calendar is gold, right?
Oh, it is. I'm trying to get the API so that I can infuse it into ChatGPT to have it automate. Let me just throw that out there.
Of course
Uh,
you are.
Now, my son, he's a second generation realtor. He's fluctuated, is what I would call it. Finally, he's not fluctuating anymore. And I misquoted myself earlier today. In the last 60 days, because of Instagram alone, Skylar has generated 300 leads. So imagine he's 27 years old. He has 5 executed sales contracts and a pipeline with 300 leads with people who came to download his grant guide because he's marketing himself as the
There you
down
go.
payment king. Okay.
Yep.
He also get this at 27 years old because he has all of these down payment programs. He's aligned with all the lenders who
Yep.
specialize in the down payment program. He gets a signed buyer representation agreement with an offer of compensation. But he did also take the ABR course.
Which
27.
is
And
brilliant. And let me say, when I got my license in '03, my first real estate niche was first time home buyers. And I learned everything I could about the down payment programs in the city of Boca Raton, the SHIP program, the county program, and the state program, and how they blended together and finding the lenders that actually did it. That's a great niche. Proud of him. So smart. And because he is the age he is, his audience on Instagram, that's perfect fit. It's
it's a
knowing your
perfect fit.
social media, right?
Is it. And he also leverages TikTok, right? So
Yeah.
TikTok, Instagram strategy. So now I told him, I said, you don't have to tell me what you're doing. I'll be able to see what you're doing. So in the last 60 days, the 3 videos, right? 67,500 views, 32,000 views, 30,000 views. Now he got a lot of ones and 2,000 views on it,
Yeah.
but he has 3 great videos, right, that have delivered and grown his account. His account has grown by over 2,000 people in the last 60 days. I'm seeing it right before my eyes,
Wow.
but the light bulb had to go off in head, his head,
Wow.
for it to make sense to him. So now he's consulting me on Instagram because of the bill. His actually, I've generated more leads than he has based on his instruction, only because I had a larger audience in the first place.
Understood. But here's to your point about generating multiple streams of income. TikTok shop, Instagram shop, Amazon shop. It all starts to add up when you build the base of that pyramid.
Yeah. Well, that's
I
what
love
that's
it.
what he's doing with his videos. A lot of his videos are 7-second videos or walkthrough videos where he has received written permission for him to leverage that video on what the down payment, essentially how he can get you into this property, no money down, a little money down.
That's fantastic. And so position that to the older seasoned agent, right? Here we have a young guy who's fairly new in the business, has a great mentor with you, but that takes time. That doesn't happen overnight, right? Um, how could people like who's more seasoned, closer like my age, your age, maybe feeling a little burnt out, really take this and run with it?
Ah, glad you asked. This picture right here is by a realtor, Kimberly Alford, same age I am. She's my sorority sister. So I've known her now for 34 years. She created smart downsizing. She leveraged artificial intelligence, mid journey to create images. She turned those images into a video. She started a YouTube channel.
Wow,
She's leveraging AI to create all the content about smart downsizing. Everything that a person would need to do to successfully downsize. And what's funny is she wasn't even thinking about smart downsizing as a niche. It wasn't until she created the video that she realized, oh, this is a niche. And then she went to go create the YouTube channel.
yeah,
Um, and so she can own that, right? She went about it a little different way than Skylar's gone about it, but she still has a landing page. She still has a call to action,
yeah,
and she's still consistently putting out content that solves the problems of someone wanting to do a smart downsize.
I love it. I love it. I'm all about the niche. I'm the queen bee of real estate niches. That's all I talk about. I talk about niches outside of real estate to inspire, and downsizing, right sizing, upsizing, whatever the heck you want to call it. It's a downsize, is not going away. And probate, that's my other niche. So I love how she has taken this whole piece and inserted into AI to create what she needed to spit out the content so she has consistency, call to action, hooks, etc. Brilliant.
Yeah. So
Brilliant.
it's this is not one size fits all. And let me throw this out here to you. So let's talk about productivity.
Yeah.
Inside of ChatGPT, there are over 3 million custom GPTs. It's taken essentially the API of ChatGPT to customize it and give it some additional instructions. There's one called Home Style. I went
Okay.
over to use Home Style. I can take any picture, load it to Home Style, and it will make staging recommendations. So I had a list of staging recommendations. It can also take any photo and take those staging recommendations and modify the photo. So I went into the MLS the other day and I pulled 6 expireds were sitting there waiting on me. I looked at them. Of the 6 expireds, 2 of the expireds only had one photo. Instantly, I'm thinking that now this is a phenomenal opportunity. One, I could just use the exterior photo to give them curb appeal ideas and make recommendations. So instead of me just cold calling, and I don't cold call, instead of just cold calling and expired, I can now provide them something of value with one, a list of recommendations, but then two, taking that photo that they had, I was going to say ugly, but taking the photo that they had and showing them an improved version of that photo. Now, one of the properties, so we're at 3 of the 6 now, was a recent gut rehab. It was not staged. I could use the home style in order to stage that property. So, of the 6, instantly I identified 3 opportunities for me to provide something of value, a new unique selling proposition to sellers. So every single day as a realtor, I could go through the MLS and take a look at the expired and provide them staging solutions to their homes.
Hmm. There you go. There you go. Right there. And, people are paying a lot of money in many cases to do the virtual staging as well. And so here now you have the suggestions and you're like, oh, wow, create this on my own, which is fantastic.
You can, and you can create it for yourself. You can create it for
Yeah.
others. You can leverage it for expired properties.
Yeah.
We're not even scratching the surface.
No, this is a long term proposition. You jumped right on it. How important is the prompt piece of what you're putting into, say, the chat GPTs of the world?
I think the prompt piece is everything. The reason I'm having great outcomes is the first thing is I use what is called a prompt paragraph. That
Okay.
means that I've trained ChatGPT in my style, my voice, and my tone. So I feed my prompt paragraph back into it so that whatever it's creating on my behalf, it sounds like me. That is going to reduce the amount of plagiarism and or AI detection because it's taking everything from the internet and essentially feeding it through a filter. Okay, so I do that on most content, email campaigns, taking email campaigns and then changing the language to the personality, the dispersonality of the consumer,
Mm,
tagging them in your customer relationship management system. When I think about prompting, the better the prompt you give, the better the results you will receive. So we have to be very clear about how we put the prompts in. I probably shouldn't admit this, but a lot of states, in order to get your courses approved for continuing education, they cannot be of benefit to the realtor. They can only be of benefit to the consumer. A lot of my classes are only about the benefit to the agent. I
right.
leverage ChatGPT to essentially rewrite all of my learning objectives so that I can get my courses approved because they need to be positioned to help the consumer. One
There you go.
class, same material, but it's how it is pivoted and mentioned, right? So I've done that in numerous states. So I'm leveraging it for curriculum development because I already was writing courses. If you already were doing something, however you were doing it, those little special terms that one would use, like if you're a loan originator, debt to income ratios, right? That would be something that FICA scores. Think of all those acronyms. You could come
Yeah.
in and leverage this as a tool because you already understand what it is that you need for this to be successful.
So going back to what you were saying about women being broke, this is an
Dying in
opportunity.
poverty.
Yeah,
Dying
dying
in
in
poverty.
poverty. This is an opportunity to learn everything you possibly can about ChatGPT, about AI, and how you can use it in your real estate business, and also how you can maybe add it on to other businesses that either coincide with what you're doing or something that you have a passion for. Like I started hashtag so Boca. That AI has been a game changer for me on the blog side. Much easier to put a blog together. I do it in the manner of what I'm interested in talking about around my micro, hyper local community and whatnot. And instead of dreading having to write 1,000 word post, I can chop it down. And does it still take me some time? Of course, because I tweak and I want this and I want that, but it takes out the grind. I think that's it.
It eliminates. You're absolutely right because even if I write an 8 part, and I tend to do 8 part email series, even when I write an 8 part email series, it will create that 8 part email series right in 2 minutes.
Yeah,
I'm still taking at least 1 hour to edit, bring
yeah,
in photos, what are my hyperlinks, but I'm not taking 4 hours.
right, exactly. I totally get that. It's
Yeah,
like, and if you are on the education side, which a lot of realtors segue into at some point, let me tell you, it is absolutely crazy good,
it
right?
is. It is
Um,
excellent for the education side.
so I got to ask you before we jump off, let's talk a little bit about barbecue.
Oh, let's talk about it.
Chicago barbecue. I'm in South Florida. I was in Dallas, had barbecue. I just love barbecue. So, what's your favorite barbecue?
My favorite my favorite barbecue is my family's barbecue. So, mind you, we've been in business now for 70 years.
Wow.
My grandfather was inducted into the Barbecue Hall of Fame as a legacy inductee. My family has sold more pork rib tips than anybody else in the city of Chicago. Now, growing up, I didn't eat rib tips. I ate ribs only. However, as I've gotten older, rib tips are my favorite one because you can put them in your mouth and suck essentially on the gristle, right? And they're a little bit more juicier because they have more fat. Okay, so
Yeah.
I am a Lem's barbecue girl. Our barbecue sauce has a tang to it, so it's a vinegar based sauce. So
Yeah.
I like that little bit of tang. Not necessarily a sweet barbecue sauce girl,
Yeah.
and so yeah, I'm definitely I'm partial. No ifs, ands, or buts about
Just
it.
just a
Uh,
little.
just a little, but and let me say this: in Texas, you're eating brisket, you're eating beef. We're a swine house, right? So I'll say that I don't believe Kansas City got nothing on Lem's barbecue. But when I do go to Texas, I do eat brisket.
Yeah. Definitely brisket. There's a movie, Chef. I don't know if you ever watched it. And at one point, they're in Texas, and those briskets are mwah, chef's kiss, like crazy good. I'm with you. I like more of a vinegar based versus sweet. And I literally said to myself this year, I really think Andy, my husband, and I should start going to some of the barbecue cook-offs because I watch the barbecue shows. I don't see you and I have a lot in common. I really don't want to cook, but I like watching cooking shows and I love looking through great cookbooks. And I like going to food and wine events. There you go.
Well, I live with two executive chefs in the making. So my husband and my youngest son swear they are chefs. Now all my men can cook, and they
Yeah,
all can cook better than me. And
yeah,
I can cook. I need to say this. I can cook. I have an
me
undergrad
too.
degree in hospitality management. I can get down. Um However, I don't have to cook anymore, and I am okay with that. But this is a household that they're going to cook almost every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, would it make you happy to know that my husband loves doing his pork butts and grew up with that and his dad and his family. So let me tell you that I never had pork butt until I met Andy.
Wow.
Yeah, it's delicious. So, anyways, Marky, where can everyone find you? I know you always have some good downloads and stuff. Where can everybody find you?
I tell everybody if you spell my name correctly, you will find me MarkiLemons. You can go over to markylemons.com.
Okay. Thank you so much for all
Thank
of
you.
your inspiration, your IA scenarios, and how we as realtors can be more productive in our career and day, and how we all can grow our businesses through AI and ChatGPT. You are the best.
Thank you.
See you
I
soon.
appreciate it.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.